My dad was an alcoholic. He was Harley riding, hell raising kind of a father. And I remember early on, at the age of 10 or 11, at a flea market, he bought a pipe for me to smoke marijuana out of. And that's about one of the last times I saw him. And so fast forwarding, 5, 6 years later, I'm 17 years old. And I find this letter. We were told never to go into our, my mom and stepdad's bedroom. I had to go so bad. I ran through there, and I guess one had gotten knocked down off of her, off the shelf of her dresser, and I saw it was addressed to me. I was like, "What is that?" And I picked it up, and it was my dad. He had been writing me, and I'd always idolized him. I remember early as a boy, he'd come into our neighborhood in a trailer park that lived in Gainesville, Florida, riding a Harley on a wheelie. And all my friends, were enamored by this Evel Knievel sort of dad. But in this letter, he described how his life had changed. He had met this Jesus Christ who had transformed his heart and his life. And I thought, man, my dad has finally gone crazy, as I didn't know anything about the Christian story, the Christian faith. And so I idolized him, but was confused about this faith. And yet my heart wanted to know him. And at the end of the letter, he said, I want to come see you at Christmas. So I announced to my mom that I found this letter, which she had confessed that he'd been writing me for quite some time. I said, "Mom, I want to get to know my dad. I want to spend Christmas with him." So I remember my dad picking me up, and this was my first opportunity to be with him in about 5 years. And we pull over at one point, and I had actually, before he came to get me, I had actually gone off with a buddy of mine, and we got high. And so, and I got back home in time and got my, my gear. My dad's picking me up, and he's this new Christian, and I'm trying to figure this thing out. And we pull over on Interstate 10 in Florida, and he says, "Let's have a traveling prayer." I was like, "A traveling prayer? What is that?" And I remember felt like, man, my dad is weird. He has lost it. So after the prayer, he says, "Would you like to drive? And have you ridden a stick shift before?" I lied. I'd never been in a stick shift, and plus I'd just gotten off with some friends and gotten high. I remember getting off the ramp, and he says, "Robert, you can slow down now." And I got panicky, and so I was pressing down the gas pedal instead of the clutch and the brake, and we're going faster off the exit ramp. Hit the median in between the 4-lane area, flipped the car up sideways, went across the other 2 lanes of traffic, and then finally the car landed back down and went down the interstate on the other interstate ramp area on the grass. My dad finally got his foot over and held down and brought the car to a stop, and he looked at me and he said, "That's why we had traveling prayer." And I remember for the first time in my life, I felt conviction, because he looked me in the eyes at that point and he said, "Robert, God saved our lives." And I had never, ever even considered a God in the universe. But for the first time, the Holy Spirit convicted me as to the authenticity that there was this Jesus who loved me and gave himself for me. And it wasn't but a few days later, on December 23rd, that I would say yes to him. Now, my dad and I have had an opportunity over the years to develop a wonderful relationship, and he's been a mentor for many years and has since passed, but he's left a legacy of faith that changed my life. His letter and then God's love letter changed my life.
How great the love of Jesus Christ. Upon the cross of Calvary, the blood was shed that pardons me. No longer bound, no more defeat. How great the love